Another huge update just dropped. We got the Pym Tech team, we have Dr. Doom, and yeah, it's like every other update, bugs, rumors, Datamines. So guys, grab some popcorn, have a seat, and Remanx, tell them what to do, brother.
Let's smash some bugs.
ValleyFlyin.
Hello, what is up, Valley Maniacs? I am ValleyFlyin. Welcome to your Marvel Strike Force weekly news update. I am joined again by my brother, Remanx. How are you, my friend?
Good. We didn't do any murderous escapades on your part last time, so
Not yet, but there's always another game. So. Anyway, I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you're prepared because we have a lot to talk about in this video. Dr. Doom, the full Pym Tech team, Ghost, Stature, we got Datamines, we got rumors, and bugs. We're going to talk about all of that. But
well, there will be bugs. There's bound to be bugs.
It wasn't as bad last update, but this one I think was an oversight. We'll talk about that with Phoenix. But I think the biggest thing on most of the community's mind is this guy right here, the destroyer of worlds, Dr. Doom. His kit was revealed last Thursday on mobile stream. It is here in text form on the blog post. A lot of good things here. His passive looks crazy. His ultimate looks crazy. His special is really good. His basic is really good. What is your favorite part about this kit?
I feel like it's a kit that can, not only does it work well with Fantastic Four members, but I think it can plug and play into a lot of different teams. He is going to be a monster. They put up his stats in MSF.gg, and his health was just, my jaw dropped when I was looking at him.
Biggest health in the game, right?
It's just, it was pretty amazing. And that node 2-9, I was trying to trigger the half health to see what he did. Oh my, it's not even funny. I think this is going to be a game changer and a suitable reward for what looks to be the hardest content we faced yet.
So if we went to each of his skills, he's got a crazy passive, summoning Doombots every single turn. On stun, he's clear stun, which I forgot when I was making the video.
Yeah.
But he's getting extra damage, extra health. These Doombots, was this a problem that you were facing when you're in that Doom Chapter 2, facing an actual Dr. Doom, the first test of gameplay of Dr. Doom that we've seen?
I brought that Hydra team with Zemo, and so I kind of wanted to test out like the mechanics of it against the Doom fight. And I was pretty surprised that they were getting pretty well nuked out, but I still think that they're not representing his full power. I mean, we have no idea. Well, once it's released and you have him at level 80 and the 4 red stars, I think it's just going to be insane.
Now, have you seen this special go off in that Doom chapter 2, the last node? This special, because this is the scary move right here. 500% damage, and then each Doombot gives him an extra 100% damage and an AoE attack. This is I was fearful of this while I was in that chapter. Is this the best move, or is this the special? Or I mean, is the special or the passive or the ultimate? What do you think is what makes him the scariest?
Yeah, so basically it goes like this. So basically he's gonna do the special on his first turn, and then so it's gonna be some initial damage. Then he's gonna do the ultimate.
Wait. 600% of his base damage, which is the highest in the game. Yeah, that's nothing to sneeze at. That's his opening turn.
Yeah. So and then he's gonna go and you're gonna have 2 turns to stop him from getting to his ultimate. And so if you don't ability block him early on, and you don't have a way to prevent him from getting that ultimate, it's pretty crazy. And then when you get him to half health, he also speeds up. So you've got a small countdown till he comes back and does this with an army of Doombots to take you out. Yeah, so
it is a ticking time bomb. You gotta take care of him. It's like that big thermal detonator. But I think if you manage to survive this second big AoE attack, I don't think he has that much left after that, but it's scary. He has a big AoE, then he takes another turn. He gets 3 turns in a row. So basically, on his second turn, pretty much getting another AoE. But I think if you survive that second AoE, I think you'll be in pretty good shape for Doom. But not many, I think, will be able to survive that.
Well, I guess the question is, there's 4 other guys you got to worry about on the team.
That's the other thing there. I was theory grounding. How can we just stop Doom? But while you're worried about stopping Doom, the other 4 could wipe out your whole team, depending who he has on his team. So yeah, he's going to be a problem. He's going to be a big problem. Now he's going to be required. He's either reward, excuse me, for Dark Dimension 4. And for Dark Dimension 4, we got a level cap increase. We got a gear tier increase. How soon do you think people are going to be entering Dark Dimension 4, given that it's going to take a little while for them to get up to level 80 and get the gear on these characters? And it's not even in the game yet. So when do you think they'll be? We'll see the first people entering Dark Dimension 4.
So you're saying a little while, but you do realize we have people in the community that already hit level 77, right?
I've heard that. Yeah.
So we had
not even 24 hours. Not even 24 hours.
I'm getting updates. There's a couple people that are actually going to try to share with the community their progress, help you guys figure that out. So I think when the gates are open, I think people want to be the first ones in there. And I know that there's some members of the community that want to do it for the community to pick characters that we want. And that's actually really cool.
That is good. Like did they say they're going to give something to the first one? Because I know they did that with Dark Dimension. I don't remember 1, but they did that with 2. Wow. They did that with 3. Did they specifically say they're going to do something with Dark Dimension 4 when somebody finished that for the first time?
I don't know. I'm trying to remember. I thought they might have, but I can't remember. I don't know specifically
There's
anymore.
So much information that goes in my brain. I can't remember what is from Dark Dimension 1, 2. I don't remember. So.
I think there's an assumption there that's what's going to happen. It's been that way since the last couple, the celebration events, when it gets destroyed, right?
Yeah, I'm not remembering them doing that, but they may have, and I'm just forgetting. So
yeah,
very possible.
Was it the fanfare? Maybe said it'll with the same fanfare when it gets. I don't know. It's pretty interesting.
We also got an update into War Store, and you were telling me about this while we were recording. I didn't even realize that we got another orb. There's an Orange Gear War Orb 1. Now there's an Orange War Orb 2. I had a lot of trouble saying that, but got through it. What is unique about this? Are we getting some of these new mini uniques? What is the word that the community is calling these?
We've heard ultra uniques, we've heard micro uniques, we've heard G15 uniques.
Okay.
So I mean,
let's see which one sticks.
We'll let the chat decide here because I'm going with the ultra, but we'll have to see. All right, so these ultra uniques.
Oh, look at these.
Yeah, so they're very interestingly designed.
Yes.
They're
especially this one right here. This blue one. Anyway, you guys see what it is. You guys see what it looks like. You know what the community is calling them. I won't say it here, but you guys know.
Yeah, that looks like Anyway. So that is actually interesting because people are asking me which one should I open now, and we're going to say that the Orange Gear War Orb 1 is for people who have not beaten DD3 yet, because that's going to get you the mini uniques. But if you beat DD3 and have the resources, don't need any one of the minis, you can go for the ultras and open these or up. And this, I'm actually surprised. I think this cost as far as a overall inflation from the Gear War Orbs. Isn't that bad? So if you don't know that there were people, the same people that were at level 77,
yes,
had probably 40K plus credits.
Those hoarders, hoarders.
Well, they beat DD3 quickly. They got what they wanted from it. They were able to take a good portion of the roster up. They spend on a regular basis, so they were able to have these in excess to prepare for the coming of the Dark Dimension 4. So I think it's going to be faster than Scopely thinks again, but that's my opinion.
It's almost faster than Scopely thinks, but
I think that's the big difference. I think unless they delay the opening of this, I do think that there will be probably 2 people in it within the first couple days of opening.
Well, let me get my head start before we move on to Doom War. But let's see if I get any of these. I can't even remember what you said they're called. I got one here. Yeah, a superior micro dot. Lovely.
Those always drop there, so it's actually guaranteed on that side. So unlike the minis that used to be, when they redesigned the orb, they used the same formula. So these ultra uniques are dropping 100% on that left side.
On the left side. So this is where all the the new ones.
Yep. The new.
There we are. And there you can see all the icons. These, if you see them pop up in your supply store or in your war store, you probably should buy these because, you're going to need a lot of these to get into Dark Dimension 4 and get Dr. Doom. But not only did we get Dr. Doom in this update, we also got Doom War Chapter 2 in Marvel Strike Force right now, which means that we can farm Proxima Midnight, we can farm Squirrel Girl, which is very, very awesome. Now, now that we're able to farm these characters on the first Wednesday of November, does this make up for Domino as the first Wednesday of September added to an orb, and Symbiote Spider-Man added to another orb, an even harder to get orb in October? Does this make up for that, adding 2 good characters, Squirrel Girl and Proxima Midnight?
It depends on where they put Cole, and if they have to wait till until after I eat turkey to get Cole.
You don't think he's gonna get the Colossus treatment?
We'll have to see. I don't know. I really hope not, because he is a character that I think is holding a lot of people back from building this team.
Yeah, it's you need that. There's no Empower Thanos if you don't have Cole. So how did you feel about the difficulty of Doom Chapter 2?
So Doom Chapter 2, so I thought and that's the thing is, I thought it was reasonable, even from the folks I heard. AIM, we heard as low as 170K was going through.
Oh my goodness.
The first AIM, which I thought was pretty impressive. And so
I had some issues with my mercs because there's a bug with Killmonger that just freezes the game, and I couldn't quit the battle. I couldn't do anything. I had to force close the game because Killmonger. So mercs are not an option.
Yeah, so I think they fixed that. I think they got hot fixed with the
it did get fixed. Okay,
the X-Men tag on there, and
we'll talk about that.
Yeah, I think that got fixed when they added the X-Men tag with X-23. They added that right after the shopper set. So they actually put that on there. But so I think that got fixed. I'm not sure, but I mean that'll be interesting. I guess people fighting Killmonger on War Defense might have a problem.
It was happening to me a lot before, but if I would play with the auto and go into the menu and play with the speed, after a while he would eventually do his move. But yeah, it just froze last night when I was in Doom Chapter 2. And,
wow. Okay. Yeah. I think they got that fixed.
How did you feel about Doom himself? I know you mentioned him a little bit before, but how did you feel about that actual battle with Doom?
I was nervous, but it went a lot easier than I thought. It was a really quick one shot. I thought it was reasonable, like an introduction. So because you didn't have to kill him, and we didn't trigger the 50% for the speed up on there, but it was relatively reasonable. And what's cool about it is you get a Thanos. So if you wanted to bring Black Order, you could bring Black Order. I played around with the Hydra team, so there's more than one way to beat that node. But I thought it was pretty cool.
Yes, I liked it as well. I couldn't kill him, and I, like I said, I did use that stun on him. I was like, oh yeah. Okay, but I like it. And I'm wondering if this is indicative of the Doom that we're going to see in the game.
Not at all.
If in our roster, or if this was an easier, watered down version of Dr. Doom, because it didn't seem like that special was as scary as it should have been.
It was a sneak preview, and I think a lot of the stats were watered down. If you looked at when I broke it down, it looked like he just wasn't getting that full benefit. But it was definitely there to kind of as a teaser.
That explains it. So it's not a disappointing reward for Dark Dimension 4. It's actually a good character. All right,
if they put a full power one on there, we'd all be crying. We can't get Proxima.
Yeah, that's not good. All right, my final question before we move on from Doom Chapter 2. We had Proxima, we had Squirrel Girl added. Who do you think is next?
So I think it might be Cole, and I think they have to address the availability for Cole, and I think they actually might do it this month. I think it might be Store. You think War Store is the likely place for him? It's shaping up that way, only because of that. Raid Store would be too easy for a character like Cole, I think so. But I mean, what was the last character we had in the Raid Store? Cyclops. Yeah. So, and I think we've had X-23 since Cyclops. Yeah. So Raid Store timing wise would make sense, but as far as the value of the character, I think War Store is. Well, what War Store does is it puts 2 characters that are going to hold people back from getting the DD3 or /DD4 mats if they're farming them. So, I think that they want to have you make those hard choices in what you're going to farm. So I think that's why a war store sometimes makes sense in that regard.
Sounds very likely, as unfortunate as it may be.
Yeah.
But we were talking about bugs earlier. Let's talk about the bugs. This is the big one right here. And as of us recording this, has not been fixed. And let me show you. So Phoenix, all the X-Men got this uncanny tag, or
oh man, no.
Except for one main one. Phoenix has it right here. But if we go into the summon, Dark Phoenix, not uncanny, which means that she's not getting Colossus the Taunt when she falls below 50% health. She's not getting extra max health from Colossus. She's not getting charges for she's not giving Cyclops charges. She's not getting the buffs from Ultimate of Beast. She's not getting evades from Psylocke, and she's not getting Wolverine speed. And I know that is what's really disturbing you, is that extra speed for Wolverine.
That doesn't. He would get that on spawn anyway. But what's really bothering me is the fact that it's something that we found out when we needed it to work, and so again, it's an oversight. I get it. When the summon, they probably added this tag to kind of add some unique builds out there, and maybe even prep for a brand new team maybe coming to the game. So I'm not going to be upset about it. It's just going to be how long it takes for them to respond to this and address it. So the longer this goes, this is impacting people who were still using them in Arena. This is impacting folks that are using them in War. This is impacting people that were in DD3 who had just brought up the Colossus stuff. So this is
that's horrible for DD3.
This is impacting every game mode in a very, very, very significant way. So it needs to be addressed right away. I made a video.
I hope it's addressed.
Yeah, I sent it out.
Now I think it's a bug. I think you think it's a bug as well. Is there any chance that this was on purpose? That this was they're nerfing to Phoenix?
No, and I know in my video I said Phoenix is nerfed, but I didn't mean that it was an intentional. I mean she's essentially nerfed because
until this gets fixed.
Yeah, because realistically, this isn't something where I think the devs wanted to have this interaction, because they actually said in the blog post very clearly that this wasn't going to change how the team function worked. Okay. So this was an oversight, as often happens, and so that's the big deal.
So nothing to do with what John Durr said on Strike Time.
Oh, you mean that we have a Phoenix problem? We have a Phoenix problem. But that's I don't think they're related. But and I'm not going to be an apologist here, but I do get it. I think that there are some oversights like that when it happens, when they're trying to do too much. And this patch was pretty robust. There's a lot of stuff going on. We got level 80. We got DD4 in the background, right? That should be something people can look at soon. We've got new characters and even some new ones that weren't even supposed to be in there that we saw, and they were hidden in the game files. We've got
we'll talk about that later too.
Yeah, so I mean, and then we've got like new gear coming in, new stores, new orbs. So this is a pretty big deal. And I mean, and new artwork that got changed. Thank goodness.
So is this the extent of the bugs, the Killmonger thing and the Phoenix thing, as far as what you're noticing? Because the Phoenix thing is pretty major. The Killmonger thing, I guess, depends on how often you use it, but I guess that's kind of minimal for an update from Scopely, right? Unless there's other things that we don't even know about.
There's other things. There's
I spoke too soon. Never mind.
Yeah, but we're getting a whole bunch of reports. We got to go in there and test them. I do try to get some video feedback if we can find the bugs, and we try to send it up to Scopely as soon as possible. So we've got some reports. They're unconfirmed. I haven't been able to repeat them. Something that we heard was there was an issue with in War only, that with the basic on Yo-Yo, you weren't getting an assist from Black Bolt or the other members of Inhumans, but I haven't been able to replicate that. So if you guys see that or having that happen, please let me know. If you guys can capture video footage of that, that would be great. I used a team. It didn't perform as well as I thought it should have. It could have been because of that, but I didn't capture footage on that. So again, we're getting various reports, and it may be something that's isolated based on your device, or or it's interaction that maybe you guys didn't notice because it was Karnak and he's useless. But that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, and guys, as usual, if there's bugs, make sure you let Cerebro know or write into customer service so they could get these fixed as soon as possible. And you were talking about some of the big changes that they made in this update. I think you glossed over the biggest change, and let me scroll down. I think you know what I'm talking about by me scrolling all the way down to the bottom of my roster. Oh, there she is. And oh, look how beautiful she looks. Look at her neck. This has to be the best part of this update. She-Hulk looks normal. Her neck is like proportioned to her body. She's not doing this weird jutting out of her chin thing that she was going on before. Does this make you happy?
I mean, what a change. And I think the art department, I think, probably had a short time period to work with the character, got something out there, and the fact that they made this change was pretty awesome. We do give them a lot. They have been the most consistent performing team out there from Scopely, and this game is beautiful. And I think She-Hulk is now too, and matches I think what the community would expect from a character like that.
Yeah, I would agree that the art department, they are one of the more consistent departments in Scopely. But there are a few exceptions. So who else? Now that She-Hulk's been reworked, this is probably one of the biggest ones. Who else do you think needs to be reworked as far as their character model in the game right now?
So we can talk about. There's probably two that stick out. There's Crystal, who looks like
Crystal's a very good choice for that. Look at this. Look at this character model. Look at her face. Her face is not supposed to look like that.
It's like a bad day of Botox. That's all I'll say. It's really I don't know.
I think I agree with you on Crystal. I think most of the community, yeah. This was not their best day in the art department.
I mean, at least her kit works. That's definitely something that's out there. But also the OG Hulk, man.
The tiny Hulk.
I think they were watching Lord of the Rings.
Crystal's bigger than him.
Yeah, they turned him into a dwarf from Lord of the Rings. I was like, yeah,
the Hobbit Hulk. Yeah, make him bigger.
Yeah, exactly.
His model's fine. Just make him a lot bigger. He's so tiny.
Yeah, exactly. That's I know you take that personally.
I do. I've been very disappointed.
I know you take that personally.
His finger is still doing whatever it used to be doing with the finger. And some of you longtime players might know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, then don't worry about it.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Other big thing here, Iso-8. So let me go into Hulk's Iso-8. And we see these colors here. Blue for the Protector. And if we go to another character, let's see, Juggernaut's also Protector. Mordo, let's see him. And he is there we go. Yellow for the controllers. We got color coding for these Iso-8 things. How much of a difference does this make for you as someone that's really invested in theory crafting for Iso-8?
So, I thought it was kind of a cool feature because it definitely differentiated what you're getting for drops. Because I think, because we're playing on a mobile device, it could be your phone. And so sometimes it's like, what the hell did I just get? And so it does help with that. I think it does help differentiate. And I think from what I saw when I brought it up yesterday on stream, it seemed like the community was like, wow, we needed that. And something I didn't think we need. And it looks better.
Yeah, so I agree it does look better. I think this is a much needed quality of life change. When you open those orbs that you get every day, all of them look the same to me. So I'm glad we got some different pieces of crystals of the Iso-8 in there. So I like it personally. And I'm sure it's very good for someone like yourself that spends much more time than I do with Iso-8. But we also got some other changes for Iso-8. We got some updates in this update to Iso-8. Yeah. Boom. We got a few different things happening here. Outdated text reference. Yeah, the Iso-8 updates in the update. Yeah. Outdated text references. This I didn't notice this too much. What are you noticing with these outdated text references? Is there anything super annoying that's causing confusion amongst you, the community?
So I think one of the things was when they called out that passive interaction, we kind of always knew that it wasn't going to be something that they typically don't trigger on. So what they're saying is when they're saying on active ability, that means something like Cole's passive retaliate attack.
Yes.
So that's why those things aren't happening. So they want to differentiate between a counterattack and a passive ability. So it says on active ability. So it should help. That language was designed to help alleviate some of the concern. Not really, but That's why we make videos on this stuff, Valley.
Yeah. All right, this one I think is pretty big because the striker skirmisher interaction was kind of a bug. I think that was kind of unintended, but they're going to leave it in. And so, let us do some theory crafting with this. What are your thoughts on this? I see you shaking your head.
So I guess it was one of those things where we always thought that. So let's take a look at the Black Bolt and Yo-Yo classic interaction.
Okay.
So I really think that it was designed. If the way it was designed was probably that the striker would have the potential to follow up with an attack because basically he gets the assist, and if it's a marked target, because she would mark a target, he would follow up with the assist and then a tap again because the target would be marked. Or they really didn't anticipate that extra ISO phase. There was they didn't catch that in the testing portion. And
what?
Well,
so they skipped by their testers?
I mean, this was something that was in beta test. I don't know if they found that. They didn't find this interaction until it went live. So it is. We broke down the numbers in this, and we broke it down. And Striker isn't as good as, believe it or not, the Raider, because the crit damage actually is an overall higher percentage over time, and still provides that 10% bonus without consuming it. So you're not losing 10% on the next person to attack it if it's not a marked target, right?
Okay.
So it actually is a big deal that it's working this way, and it really changed the way it made certain like Avengers Wave 1 with this much better. And I thought, it was magical the way this interaction was working, because a lot of these kits that have kind of been antiquated and fallen far out of the meta were suddenly new again. And so I gave them a lot of credit. I was like, wow, what a great amount of foresight. They must have built this. Cut to, oh, it's a bug.
It's a bug, but we'll leave it in. We'll leave it in. I like it.
Which, by the way, thank you.
I think this is a good thing. I think
it's a great thing because it allows us some more advanced theory crafting.
Yeah, and that is exactly what they said. They left it in because of interesting theory crafting. This last thing on the Raider, I was confused. I thought this was maybe solving the thing with the flex in War, where they're not getting all their target. Yeah. Can you explain what this is? Because I was asking about this, and I still don't know.
So they addressed it. So what they did was they went back and they updated the Iso-8 FAQ, and
which is here,
yeah. And so they basically addressed Namor not being able to crit, and the problem with that is
and Negasonic.
Well, and everybody, but specifically Namor with 100% chance. So yeah, I read that and reread that and tried to make sense of the language that was used. And I'm not sure if they're sure what's happening.
Yeah. Well, we know what's happening. It's not working how it's written in War, and they have some explanation here why it's not working, but it doesn't work.
To be clear,
it doesn't work.
All they had to say is deflect/block stops crit from happening, or like the vulnerable from being applied. That's all they had to say. It wound up it's to the point where we're going to have to take a look at the actual damage numbers.
Paragraph.
You know what? Sometimes people give too much information that they maybe they're imposter and they're a little sus. Well, I
wouldn't know about that at all. What are you talking about?
You're new to this game. All right, that's great. That was a great murderer.
All right. Anyway, back to some Marvel Strike Force stuff. Yeah, so they could have made it a lot simpler, I guess. Is the quick
bottom line is it's going to take some more investigation. We are actually looking into that to try to figure out the math on how that's working, just to determine if what they said is actually what's occurring. And if it is, then we have to learn to live with it and move on. But that does devalue Raider in War, and we're testing some additional ISOs for specific War attacks to make sure that you're getting the best benefit.
Cool. Got it. All right. And I guess this is kind of bearing the lead, but Doom seems very important. There's so many things to lead with. Let's finally talk about this Pym Tech team. We got the.
What do you call them?
The Pym Tech team.
Hey, one more time.
Pym Tech.
Pym Tech. All right, I heard another word. All right, go ahead. I thought you were saying Pym Tech.
That could be Pym Tech.
I hear it. When you say it again. Say it again right now. Say it one more time. It sounds like you're saying Pym Tech. I'm not even joking.
All right. Anyway, we've seen this team. They look pretty good for Dark Dimension 4. Ghost's kit looks crazy, which we'll talk specifically about that in a little bit. But what is your overall impression of this team? Do they have any use outside of Dark Dimension 4? And actually, I don't know if you saw the footage because I didn't release it, but they did face an Asgardian team in War. They were able to punch across, even powered. They were to pretty handily beat that Asgardian team in War.
Who were the other two? That's the question.
It was all of them. It was all the Pym Tech.
Oh, you mean in the war? So in the video?
Yeah, in the video. It was in the video that Fox Scopely sent us, not in a real war. So it was Yellow Jacket and Ghost as the other two. They were able to do
that
as
was a war.
Guardians.
I thought it was Blitz. Okay, that's different.
No, I don't know about Blitz, but I don't have my stature built up enough to test Blitz, and we'll talk about her as well. But what is your impressions of this team? Do they have any use outside of Dark Dimension 4 and maybe a War offense team, and of course Blitz? Anywhere to use this team that you could see right now?
I am really struggling with my recommendation on this team, and I actually I don't know. So I'm sitting there and based on and how they work, all right, and so it's really cool. They have this new system where if they evade, they're going to get healed by Ghost. We don't have our hands on yet. So the thing about it is, if you want to build a DD4 team, so if you're a Kraken,
yes,
then you're buying this team because you're not going to be able to use Phoenix and Global, and that's what this is being sold to you as, is the global solution. So right off the bat, sure, Krakens are going to buy it, but Krakens buy everything anyway. Yeah. So congratulations, you've appealed to exactly the audience you always appeal to. Then you've got the folks that are maybe newer to the game that are wondering if this is going to supplant their need to get Phoenix. And the reality of it is, I don't know, because if they really had a Phoenix problem when they designed DD3, then this team may still have a portion of the problem. And I get that they have all these different interactions and it seems pretty cool. But then I think about Node 8 when Falcon and Invisible Woman come out and you're just, does this team have enough to stop that damage, that speed up, all of these things from happening? And it's really cool. Yeah, Ghost has all of the features of this kit on her in Dark Dimension. And so while they're not as valuable outside of Dark Dimension, I think we could find some use, and I think they're going to be annoying on War defense. I think they'll be fun on War offense. But do we at this point really need another team to beat Asgardians? And that brings me to the real problem, Valley. I'm going to ask you this: is maybe it's because of the fact that we just had symbiotes. Everything's going to feel lackluster. Is that my problem?
It could be. I mean, this X-Force seems a little lackluster right after Black Order, so maybe that's what we're experiencing with Pym Tech. Maybe the symbiotes are so good. And
funny you say that. It's funny you say that because what did X-Force do?
They unlocked Dr. Doom, and we'll talk about this in the rumors. We'll revisit this. I think we've been talking about this for a while, but I do want to get your thoughts now, your current thoughts on this as we get to the rumors section. But before we get to that, unless you have any other thoughts about this Pym Tech team, because I do want to talk about Ghost specifically.
So I think I like Stature's kit, but her stats are terrible. Right. So it's like she gets her biggest boost to stats with the health boost when she's in the Dark Dimension. So she's relying on the evades, and she's relying on Ghost to help keep her up. And I do know that she has that reflexive where she drops taunt, gives it to her dad. Ant-Man.
Hold on. Well, we'll talk about as Stature, but how did you like that? Was that kind of cool? As a dad with a daughter. Like myself.
I've got two.
I got two.
Yes. I'm definitely overprotective. That's for sure.
Right. Well, let's talk about Ghost, and then we'll come back to Stature and the cool interaction that she has with Ant-Man. Ghost, she is kind of the missing piece of this Pym Tech team right now to see if this team really works. Are you seeing a lot of use for her outside of this Pym Tech team, though, or is this just to use on this team, kind of one of these cookie cutter teams that we're getting nowadays?
So I'm trying to imagine myself as a newer player getting access to this character early on, and I think she can potentially replace Minerva in certain situations. So I think it's promising. That being said, she is the $50 pack because she is 100 unlock. She's going to be the $50 pack for people to buy. So, you know, they did make it so that she's worth the money. But a lot of what she has is tied to dark. So she has a yo-yo effect in Dark Dimension. She does the life drain. She has it on a relatively low cooldown in comparison to her, but she doesn't have the same synergy with a lot of the characters. Well, I guess you can use Captain America as an early player. So yeah, I guess there's some usefulness as an early player. But mid game, is she going to replace Phoenix in Dark Dimension 3? And you want to know who's stupid enough to try that?
Remanx.
Fourth run, baby.
Yes,
we're doing
baby.
It.
The fourth
we're
run.
Doing a fourth run. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, you're not even getting a new border for that. You're just doing that for fun.
Well, I don't do it for fun because I can tell you right now, it's one of those things where as new characters came out, people want to know if they were valid in Dark Dimension 3, and I did make a tier list that showcases them. So I do actually like to test things before I make recommendations. So we're gonna go through that, and that's part of the struggle I have. Is I really wish that Ghost was the first character released, because then if we had her, then we would see the value in the other characters. I think they would be a lot easier for me to say, oh my goodness, I can't wait for Stature to come out because this team really needs a tank, but they have these heals now and all that stuff. So,
yeah.
You know, it's frustrating because I'm not sure what they're capable of doing until I take them against some of this. But I think they're going to be a good team. So I just don't know if they're going to be a team I'd recommend a mid-tier player to whale out on. I have a hard time doing that.
Even if they haven't been through Dark Dimension 3, struggling with Global, you still not sure if this is the team for Dark Dimension 3.
Yeah, so let's say you get to Node 7 and Node 8, which is the hard stop for Phoenix.
Yeah.
Well, they were designed for Phoenix, and so Phoenix gets all her cooldowns when she dies.
Yes.
So you go back in there and her cooldowns are up. You can spend cores at her. You can spend 100 cores at her, and you get the same effect every single time she dies. Pops up, special, 20% down. It's going to take a little bit more than that to do this because you're going to have to rely on feeding energy from Stature into Ghost. So my concern is instead of building up one character who is a legendary, you're going to have to build up a team. Mm-hmm. And so the good news is their tech. The bad news is they've got one bio, 4 tech characters, and that's a crunch to build up for anybody. Yeah. And I don't know that any, one character or 2 characters with Colossus or Sinister are going to have that same impact. And so that's my concern.
Yeah, that is a good point. Building up 2 characters versus building up 5 is a lot of resources, a lot of orange gears. So I don't think this is going to be the Dark Dimension 3 team.
Buddy, 'cause I want to hype this up, but I don't. I think that they're whale mode engaged. I think that's really where they live, is people who want to buy this team for Dark Dimension 4, because if they are a legendary unlock, they will be about, and if we use X-Force as the most recent, X-Force was what came out in July, and we had them farmable by the end of August, early September. So I mean, maybe you can afford to wait.
Maybe, yeah, and especially if you're going to be taking a WoW for Dark Dimension 4. And you mentioned the other character a little bit. Let's go all the way to the top of my roster because I'm actually building her now. Not very good job of building her. Stature. You mentioned some disappointment in her stats. Her damage doesn't seem that great. Her health doesn't seem that great. Even at 2 stars, it's just a little disappointing. I would have wanted a little more. What is your first-hand thoughts of Stature now that you've got to test her, and not just look at her kit on paper?
So for me, it's mostly, I think she's interesting because she's basically the battery of this team, throwing energy out. I do love you call out the interaction with her dad. I thought that was that's really cool, and the way that and the way that they build this team around evades. The concern is, can she take a punch? And so a lot of the early testing is she does get enough evades to do so, but it's against an environment of 10 characters, which is what you're going to be fielding on Dark Dimension. Can she take a whole bunch of attacks that way? And we'll have to see. I'm hesitant to say that without Ghost that she's really worthwhile. But we did find some uses for her, and we'll talk about that later.
Actually, let's talk about that right now before we move on to the event for Stature. What are some teams you're seeing being used with this Pym Tech team before we get the final version of this team with Yellow Jacket and Ghost?
So people are building them up with Ultron. They're using Minerva, Vision. They're definitely using some different tech characters to kind of build around this team. So it's interesting. It seems like the people have a hard time just figuring out on defense, and I think it can potentially do some stuff on offense. But I'm not sure Stature is even part of that equation right now.
I mean, definitely not my Stature with just 2 yellow, 2 red stars.
Yeah,
definitely needs to be a little beefier for mine to really see the benefits of this character. But she has an event coming up in a few days. It's in the game now, and to get that event, aspiring tag, and we got a bunch of good characters for here. After someone's been through the mid game, probably pretty easy, probably pretty auto this, but for newer players still building a roster that struggle with some of these events, what team are you seeing between these characters that is available for newer players, but also would be good in this event and have some good interactions?
So hero brawlers or young Avengers. So realistically, you got X-23, you've got Miss Marvel, you've got Miles. So you've got quite a few, America Chavez. You got quite a few characters that can help build that out. You've got Falcon on there for a speed up, and imagine getting that energy from Falcon, getting that energy and being able to speed up that team. So there's a lot of cool ways, I think, that this is actually a pretty decent balanced roster. You got some Asgardians, you've got, so it's actually pretty decent.
Yeah, I like that Young Avengers with X-23 on there.
Yeah, that's pretty. That brawler squad, that hero brawler squad, should get you far.
I might use them instead of some of these other characters that that are higher powered, maybe get through it a little easier. I think that Young Avengers is the way that I'm gonna go with this event. And big thing from the blog post. This happens every first Friday of the month. Chaos Theory coming back. Silver promotion credits, gold promotion credits. I always ask this, what are you going to spend your promotion credits on this month, my friend?
I already spent them.
Oh, what you spend it on?
I bought 6 red star NDW.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
I pulled a 7 red star 2 days later.
That sounds like me when I did Drax way back in the day. I was like, I don't know who to.
I don't think anybody here is feeling really sorry for me. I'm really excited to have a 7 red star, but that is 100 gold credits, and it's ironic that that's the character I pulled at 7 red star right there. There it is.
Is it irony or is it planned? Because something happened to me with Drax back in the day. I built him up. It wasn't 7 and 6. It was like 4 or 5, but it's still silver promotion credits that I didn't have in my inventory. And like the next day I pulled a higher star in Drax. So I wonder if there's some weird thing. If you buy stuff into promotion credits, you have a higher chance of pulling them at a higher star level when you're opening these orbs.
Well, if that's the case, maybe we can manipulate that algorithm. But I mean, who would ever think of that?
That is a new seed. That is a new seed you need to test, my friend.
Who would ever think
spending your promotion credits and seeing if you get the next thing in the next couple days.
And that's why I lost my hair. Is I wear my tinfoil hat too tight. But that's the thing here is I'm going to say this. I do like the fact that there is a path to progression for red stars. The fact, and this is this the first one we have back since, has it been that long since we lost Chadwick Boseman?
No, this is 2 because the first one they just gave out the credits. We had one last month, and this is going to be the second that we've actually had an event. But I
can't. Yeah, unfortunately, it's still fresh in my mind. I still, mourn a loss. Which
it was so unexpected. Someone that young, someone that healthy. It's weird.
You do know that he's the exact same age as you and I. Oh, by the way, if you didn't notice, this guy's so I've been saying this on Twitch a couple times that Mobile Gamer, myself, and yes, the vampire himself over here, ValleyFlyin, are the exact same age. We're all the same age. I'm very jealous.
Leave your thoughts on that in the comments, guys. as we go to my favorite part of the video. the Datamines. Oh, second favorite part, because rumors, we're going to get to rumors in a little bit, but let's go to Datamines, what is actually in the game right now. And there's a big speculation from one of these Datamines. We'll save that one for the end. Let's talk about this one first. Iso-8, and there's a new tag here, Gambler. And we were talking beforehand what this possibly could mean, because there's a lot of crit chances here. So in your best guess, is this like a new tag in replacing the Raider, and or is this something in the background that's happening? This is how the Raider is described in the background. In the front end of the game, it's known as Raider. Or is this something totally new that we haven't seen before? Because they did talk about new classes, new Iso-8 classes in that Strike Time episode. What do you think this could mean?
Look at number 3 for a second. ISO level 3. I can't see it on my screen.
It says, oh, let me raise it up here. Oh, too much. There it is. Okay. So there it is.
Yeah,
okay.
It looks to me like this may just very well be what they call the Raider in the background. It might be either a new name for it, maybe in honor of a gambler coming to the video game. I don't know.
All right. Well, maybe it's something very interesting. Maybe it's nothing. But did want to point that out to you guys.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to point out is something down here. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can scroll to it. All right, and here it is. This is raid changes, and they talked about the difficulty sliders for the Greek raids not healing. It looks like there's something in there now, so it looks like it could be coming very, very close. No heals allowed. It says right here under there, no heals remaining. So yeah, looking forward to the difficulty slider for the Greek raids whenever it's coming to the game.
Yeah, so I mean, I think if you recall, I think we talked about like the prediction for like the gear, G15 gear. I think this is the other level to make it available to put the stuff in the slider.
That would be nice. That would be nice.
I think the slider is coming sooner than later.
Okay. Hopefully Blitz Sim comes very soon as well, in addition to this. But are you ready for the big one? Are you ready for the big data mine that we got with this update?
Let's go.
All right, boom, here it is. Yelena Belova. I think I'm pronouncing that right, but it is the other Black Widow in the movie. The second Black Widow, not Natasha. This is the other Black Widow. Her portrait was in the game files.
Yeah. So I keep hearing rumors that they're thinking about doing a Disney Plus release for these guys. I wonder if this is the next Legendary.
Yeah, they had that paid. You had to pay for Mulan, but there was some strategy changes that they might just offer this movie for free on Disney Plus and maybe make that their release method from now on. Not even going to theaters. Rumors were back in the day. We've had Red Guardian's portrait in the game for a while. Now we have the other Black Widow.
Red Cerebro. Red
Cerebro.
Yeah, Red Cerebro.
It does look like Cerebro.
It is Cerebro. There's no doubt in my mind. Those blue eyes are striking.
All right, so Cerebro and Zeke's in the game for this team, and how excited for this team are you? I think they were supposed to come out way back in March when the movie was supposed to be released. Rumor was that the movie, I think it got pushed back till November, and then it got pushed back again. So sometime in 2021 is when this movie is supposed to be coming out. But when do you think this team is supposed to be coming out?
It's hard to say. I really think that the game has been has had a struggle with the MCU delays. And so I think that if we think about like the beginning of the game, they had the Defenders, they had all these TV shows coming out, and we had event after event after event that was tied into this stuff. And we can expect when Captain Marvel came out, we're going to get Captain Marvel characters. When Black Widow came out, we were like, wait, where's Black Widow? Delayed because of COVID. So this is the thing. So there's a little bit of hype out here. But I mean, this might have been an accidental, and the portrait doesn't mean. I mean, how long did we have the Yellow Jacket assets in there?
That was since beta, and there's also been an Abomination in there since beta. There's been a Red Hulk in there since beta. Those other. I think everybody else has been released. Red Skull, Yellow Jacket, they've all been released, but Abomination, Red Hulk still. And it had their portrait in beta, and not released yet. So this could mean something very soon. This could be something way down the road, years later. But
which I think I think I'm not going to say that this like makes me want to speculate, but I think it's really cool artwork, and the art team looks like they're not going to disappoint yet again.
Yes, not like Crystal.
no, she is. Yeah,
she looks normal. She looks like a normal human being. All right, and now it is my other favorite time of every news video. Rumor section, and this time we were talking about Battle Pass, rumors for Battle Pass. Now there was someone that I speak to on chat in my live streams that claims to have a dev in his alliance, and he's been feeding different things. Ant-Man and Wasp, they said the devs were building up these characters, and they're in the game. Spider-Man, they were talking about Spider-Man previously with the Gothic team. That still has not come to fruition yet, but we will. I mean, it does sound likely with some of the other, it sounds in line with some of the other rumors that we're hearing. But latest is on Battle Pass, and what he shared with me was the pricing for Battle Pass, at least right now, the number $14.99. Is this a good number as far as comfortability for you? I don't even know if that's a word, but are you comfortable with this price, $14.99 for Battle Pass? Not knowing what it's gonna mean, not knowing what the rewards are, not knowing what the value was, but as far as pricing, do you think this is a good price that would be allowing a lot of players to use this Battle Pass and spend money on this if they choose to?
Yeah, so I mean, for me, it's something that I hope they take the models from other games where they have a base tier that's free. And so they allow, and there's a decent amount of rewards to reward activity. Yeah. And so $15, I think for actually quite a few people, depending on what the rewards are for this, is a monthly subscription. And so I think that's comfortable for some people as an entry level spending, or to justify spending on a game that they love. What I paid for World of Warcraft back in the day. So it really depends on how they structure this and what they structured around. Yeah. Because I don't know if anybody's going to pay $15 to PvP.
a third of the community loves PvP. They'll probably pay us.
Yeah,
but two-thirds of the community just no PvP.
Yeah, but I think that's the idea. Is battle passes work best when there's a free level of access and everybody gets it, and then there's a premium tier. And I think that when the premium tier also lets you skip ahead because maybe you can't, there's two ways to progress in mobile games like this: time or money.
Yes.
And you can either spend time or you can spend money. So if it lets you skip ahead in some of these tiers at a reasonable rate, then I think it is something that I think is fine.
Yeah, I don't think the pricing is that far out of line, but of course, we would have to justify with the rewards, making sure it makes sense, making sure that there's enough value in there, because of course if it's like other battle passes, it's not just spending the money and getting the rewards. It would have to be more than that, because this is something over time that you also have to play and use some activity for. So it has to be a little more than what they would give out if you just bought those rewards for $14.99, and I would be happy. But the pricing, it doesn't seem that crazy. It doesn't seem that out of line. And unless you have anything else on Battle Pass, I got the last rumor that we teased a little bit, but I do want to come back to it. So
okay, go ahead. Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Pym Tech, the word on the street for a long time has been, this is the next team that's going to unlock the next legendary character. It's been around for a while. I've talked about it last week. Now that we see the Pym Tech team in the game, we see Stature, we see the focus for Ghost, Yellowjack. Does this change anything for you? Are you still predicting or speculating that this is going to be the next legendary unlock?
Yeah, so I guess this is supposed to unlock a vampire, right? That's what they're saying.
Is that what? I just heard it's the next legendary unlock. I didn't have a.
Supposed to unlock a vampire. A
vampire. Excuse me.
44 years old. Jeez, I'm doing something wrong here. It's just. All right. So what have I done with my life?
Hey, you're living longer than someone in the 1700s.
Thanks. I guess way to spin it. The way to spin that in a positive way. No, but realistically, it's if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I'm gonna be broke if I keep trying to buy it, speculate on what's gonna happen, right?
So you're just gonna buy everything.
No, I mean, so the idea is they built this formula where there's 2 characters existing in the game. They introduced 3 new characters that have specific game mode requirements, like, X-Force was built towards war, and I think it was lukewarm received because of the fact that they were post Blackwater, and Blackwater was like great everywhere. Yeah. Once they fixed Thanos' passive, but it was definitely something that for me I'm still struggling to recommend this character, and it's just, do I think people should rush out and buy a team with the speculation that it should unlock a legendary? And the answer is no. But I think there is a potential, and it does feel a lot like where we were with Asgard and X-Force, and now here.
Yeah, and there was Inhumans as well. Inhumans for Ebony Maw. We had Miss Marvel and Quake that was that as well. So going back for several different legendaries, the 2 characters that are farmable and other 3 that you would need. So it would fit. So let me know your thoughts in the community, guys. Do you think the rumors are true? Is Pym Tech unlocking the next legendary, whoever it may be? I'm curious to hear what you guys think. All right, and that is about it, my brother. Before you go, it is always a pleasure, and I want you to promote something. What do you got going on? How can the community support you, brother?
So I've got Remanx.tv. You guys know you can catch me there. I stream pretty much every day, and then I have YouTube.remanx. You guys can catch me here on YouTube. I am making some videos, hopefully insights, going over some of the ISO team recommendations, how to build them, and what to take a look on. I kind of broke it down. We're going to be doing a deep dive into every team. I do have a video on the Blackwater versus Blackwater, why the ISOs make that impact, but more importantly, how to punch up with that team. So up to 200K. So
nice. Oh, 200 mirror match, Blackwater 200K punch up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Well, thank you once again. Make sure you check out that ISO list and all that stuff, brother. You can find me on this YouTube channel. So we do a lot of videos, guys. So make sure you subscribe. Weekly news video every single week on Marvel Strike Force. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know exactly when the new video comes up, guys. I will see you guys next time. I also stream every morning on Twitch, so check us both out. We're on different times. Give me a hug fist bump before you go. Where's that fist? Oh, it's on the side of the screen. There it is. Remanx and ValleyFlyin out.